the hustle culture now has become part of also another culture, which is like a subsect of hip hop culture. So hustle culture comes with having swag, being into music, being into certain kinds of free spirited lifestyle.
Because, you can live whatever.
Exactly. So people then fall in love with the struggle.
If you're a Yahoo boy, this thing, that's their what the hustler, at the hustle, you the hustle, you the street, I the hustle. So they tell you say you the hustle, you gonna say it means negative.
You know, some of those hustlepreneurs are actually hustling you too.
Take it that you are also doing a 9 to 5, but the only difference is now you can get appreciation directly.
Yeah, you're answerable to yourself.
And you are answerable to yourself. So don't think that hustle is for lazy people.
Yeah. Welcome to the Center Side podcast, where we have open and thought-provoking conversations around social and cultural issues and everything in between. My name is Oga Peter. Again, the usual gang. Fine boy Raj. Fine boy Sam.
We're here again. What are we gonna do?
How fun.
Yeah,
I like the inscription
Today I
on
dressed
your...
nice for you guys, man.
Yeah. Today you are...
That's a very big God. A round of applause.
Yeah, brother.
So we're going to be talking about something. It's very prevalent, but I think that we haven't given it as much attention conversationally as we have generally. That's hustle.
Yeah.
You know, you hear things like, I hustle every day. I left home to feed home. You know, there are people who left home to feed home.
Left home to feed home.
Yes.
I talk with that.
But at the end of the day, home is feeding them because they couldn't even feed themselves. Talk more of feeding home. But there's this hustle culture in, let's use Nigeria for example, and social media has made it more prominent. You see people tell you, if you sleep more than 3-4 hours, you are lazy. You're not going to make it. I want us to look into this conversation. Is the hustle culture about success, actually, or is it about greed and show off?
I love that. I love that take, man. I love that take. I think it's a double-edged sword in a way. And if you are going out there and you don't have a strong character, hustle can become greed. You understand? Hustle day, but greed day inside that hustle.
Yeah, but what is hustle really? For our viewers, what is hustle?
Okay, so if you are a foreign audience and you're not familiar with how we over here, we the Niger people talk about hustle. Hustle, man, is when you as an individual have looked around your situation and you're saying, man, the government is not coming to help me. You understand? Government is usually government.
Yeah.
You understand? People look at, foreign countries, you have welfare.
Yeah.
If you don't go to student loans, all these
so they have systems that
all these nifty things in place just to encourage you. Imagine they encourage them to go to school. They don't want you and me to go to school. You understand? So they are encouraging them. But here, you understand, when conditions are difficult, because we're in sub-Saharan Africa and we know that education is a problem.
Yeah.
We know that we are aware of some of the inadequacies in our economy.
Yeah.
So the average man looks at himself, look at his surrounding and says, no be me they go rain now. Looks at the people around and says, this person is getting it done, this person is getting it done.
So you are lagging behind.
You are lagging behind.
You have to
no agree me.
Yeah.
I read book, enter. So what can I do? Let me go take to the streets, as we say.
Yeah.
Let's take to the streets. Let's see what the street has for us.
The streets.
Exactly.
So it's basically you get it how you get it. I'll do whatever comes my way. You start somewhere, whatever. I've had people where when I was in uni, there was a guy that if you want to make a word, he knows a guy. He's doing it.
Oh yeah.
If you want to record studio, you go learn am overnight. If you want Photoshop, You go down overnight, you go run out.
Everything.
They do everything.
Jack of all trades, he's ready, he's hungry.
But is he master of all or master of none?
Oh boy, he's master of none.
It's usually master of none.
He's usually master of none.
Because
More
you're all
often
over
than
the
not.
place.
Yeah.
But do you think that people who hustle, like that person you said, do you think that they just get by or do they attain success? Is there anybody that has made it like very successful, that's made it through hustling?
I mean, I think most people will tell you. I think that, like the word he said, also is a street word. Street credibility. People who are in the streets. There's people that don't hustle. Though. They don't even know this word hustle. I mean, as much as we use it in Lagos, we also, I'm sure people who are very rich, the billionaire children cannot relate to this because they know the hustle, things they did for them. But I mean, people who are on the streets are people that use this term a lot, and they feel like they want to grow from grass to grace, and I'm sure there are people who have grown from grass to grace through this also find their way through, even people come all the way from other states, and let's say Lagos is exactly the place where people do this also. You hardly see it in other, I mean it happens in other states, but Lagos is where every other person comes to come out also and feel like there is life here, this is where they can make money. And definitely there are people who have done that and have been successful, while some people have done it and nothing, they can't say anything about it.
Making money and attaining success, they're not exactly the same
They're
thing.
not the same thing, but when you say also, a average person also is not thinking of success. Success to them is making money.
I think that words have evolved. The actual meaning of hustle used to be determination, grit, effort, putting all the energy.
I think those are
but these
qualities
days, hustle has taken a different meaning. When somebody tells you he's a hustler, you look at him a certain way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you get
Yeah,
because
those negative connotations.
so it has a negative
Of
connotation.
Hustle is not like a scam.
You-
Is that
getting
like
it by all means.
By all means, yeah.
Getting it by all
even
means.
if it's not morally.
Exactly.
And it's usually, even in North America, it's usually identified with illegal getting,
yeah.
like you're hustling. Now, let's talk about the social media. In fact, there's a generational context or dimension to it. You know, that's the generation of our parents, right? The actual 9 to 5 generation that believe in work hard, stay true to your job, stay loyal to one company, and then retire and get pension.
Yeah.
You get their own mentality was hard work will lead you to success.
Yeah.
They believed so much in the system, but the system failed them.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we have to do more, because if they achieved the success through that means, right? A lot of us won't need to put as
Resort
much
to hustle.
effort
Exactly.
as we are doing and start hustling.
Yeah.
The people in our parents' generation who hustled in those days were the people who were able to steal government and company money. Think about it.
Okay. That's
Only
point.
a few of them were able to, because in their days, the middle class was a thing. So they were comfortable. The system was a bit fair. They were comfortable, right? I mean, the average family had a Peugeot or maybe a Mercedes V-Boot, and they could live in normal flats. And then you lived among poor people, and poor people didn't feel like they were poor. If you went to you went to secondary school, you can remember some of your classmates whose parents were not all that, but they didn't feel it that much because we had a more a stable society.
And I think another thing, the reason because of that is that there was no social media to compare yourself to.
Exactly.
A lot of the
There was no
time,
pressure.
the things that
Exactly.
you go
There
through,
was no pressure. There was nobody.
So,
the
yeah.
things that you are going through, you are not seeing.
Nobody's
Nobody's
putting
saying
things on your face.
what is
Exactly.
in your face.
We're going to come to the social media angle. Then our generation, the millennials, we copied that from our parents because they had ingrained it in our minds to say, work hard though. But now the 9 to 5 is not working for us because we realize that we have to take care of ourselves and take care of our parents, that the system have failed. But this corporate 9 to 5, whatever regular work system will not cut it. And so the idea of multiple streams of income became very prevalent.
Yeah.
The only side hustles that our parents had were maybe buy lands or buy some of those stuff. But now we have to have in fact, everybody puts it on your face. Now, our generation, the millennials, are more interested in hustling.
Yeah.
If you don't have a side hustle, it feels like you're not doing anything with your life. And then there's the Gen Z who say, well, I'm going to work, but I cannot kill myself.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they always say you don't do hard work. They say
soft work. They decide to figure out a way where they will do, contrary to popular
think
opinion.
smart. Don't
Gen Z
hard.
people are not lazy.
Work
They just don't want to
smarter,
kill
not harder.
themselves.
Exactly.
Work smarter, no harder.
No
Exactly.
harder, exactly. That's it.
So you see, our parents worked harder, but they didn't really get much from their hard work. Our generation, the millennials, we are working harder and putting things in place because we lean more to the older people. The Gen Zs are working smarter. That's why you can see younger people, early 20s, making a lot of money,
Yes.
living the soft life, and the older people are angry with them. Now, see something that happens. Here's the social media angle where there are people who I call hustle influencers.
Mm.
They're driving Lambos, driving
Why
G-Wagon.
Lambo? Why did you mention Lambo
Yeah,
first?
because Lambo is the thing that is trending now. It feels like everybody has to. And if you look at these people,
I'm getting mine very soon. Watch out.
I know what this guy is talking about. Lambo, that
Okay,
Lambo
see, like-
stuff that was going around like a few
oh,
days ago.
a certain Sophia.
There are many Lambos. Oh. In fact, there's one Lambo that went to church.
There's Messi. Messi got
There's
a
Messi
Lambo.
Lambo. Yeah.
Everybody
There's
get
a
Lambo
certain
these days, bro.
Sophia that got
Got
a
a
They're
Lambo.
Lambo.
hustling.
And you know the funny thing, when these people get all these flashy stores and you try to check their sources of income, you can't find anything tangible that they do.
Interestingly enough,
So it means they are the actual hustlers.
Interesting enough, that is just something just popped into my head. We might have to start asking the question: are women leading the hustle culture these days?
Well,
Like, they do that, because
Yeah, I
these
think
chicks
so.
are balling out.
No,
bro.
they are balling. They are living life. I don't know how they do it.
because
but
I think that some of them are hustling the hustlers.
Ah.
That's another one.
Do you understand? Think about this guy.
I feel like something.
Oh, I need to tweet it. Think about it
I also
now.
wanted to say something, right? I think also like the perception of hustle has changed over time
Mm.
because like you said, in our father's generation, hustle was looked down on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because we're comfortable with what you
because
earn.
intellectuals went to school,
Yeah.
they got jobs,
Mhm.
and they looked at it as honest
Mhm.
jobs,
Yeah.
professional courses. were
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It didn't
Then
need to
hustling
be.
was here.
True.
Oh, what do you do? If you cannot say something tangible, something professional,
Professional.
if you start saying
Or something
things
that
like,
is not academical.
like, I'm into business.
Yes.
I'm
What
into
business they can't say?
People look at you like hustle. It's just hustling.
Mm.
Hustling was a word that was used to categorize someone that was coming up. You're just hustling.
Yeah.
These days, hustle is now has now taken on
Has taken
a new
on, yeah.
vibe.
Yeah,
It's
now
like
the
hustle
ones
is the
getting
cool
it.
thing.
It's a cool
Like,
thing.
and
You have to
hustle
hustle.
is
I
now.
mean,
People look at you like, this guy doesn't hustle.
you know the
You get
hustle.
it?
Ni.
You know the hustle.
the-
Like you don't have that flavor. You don't socialize. There's a social aspect.
Do you think that
you don't
that's,
get around.
think
You don't
that's
make
a problem
money.
in our society?
What's that?
Because there are a lot of highly impressionable people that are pressured by those people. Now, because they tell you that you need to wake up early, you need to grind, the person telling you this, you don't see what this person is grinding. For example, the people we mentioned that got Lambos and all, what do we call them? Socialites. I think that socialites is a term we invented to call
Yeah.
people that we don't know their sources of income.
We know their sources of income.
Oh, that we don't want to say their we don't want to say their real sources
not
of
being
income.
polite.
Yeah. I think that's a polite way to shield them from saying their real sources of
Yeah.
income.
Yes, PC
Do you get-
culture.
So
Political correctness.
you have to be politically correct before they
Exactly.
say one thing,
Socialite.
one thing. So
The fuck does that
what does socialite mean? Because check
I don't
them.
know.
If you check it now, if they will just call their name a socialite.
A socialite.
What
What's
does
socialite?
socialite? What is
It
socialite?
is OS now. OS upgraded.
Yeah, OS.
OS. If you
I
know
like
OS
that.
mean OS. OS what?
So you
get
see
different
that
OS level.
a lot of people
If you are
get
foreign right now, you're listening, go ask your
Yeah,
Nigerian-
just
go
Google-
ask your Google OS, right?
OS.
Or you gotta call your Nigerian man
Google
to tell
S.
you what
A
OS
lot
is.
of them, that's what they do. And then for the guys,
Yeah.
they do some shady things and then come online. We know there are examples of Hush Puppy, who by the way is an international.
You know that was
Google
now
Hush Puppy.
we they
you
build
will know.
No,
the
as
operation
in-
system.
Yes.
The OS. That's
Now we
it.
they make
Are we
am.
still talking about the same thing? You see people like Hush Puppy who used to preach that you guys are not hardworking, you're not doing enough. Meanwhile, he was a criminal. Recently, there's a guy. I think he's born to a Nigerian father, and I think his mother is from Netherlands. Also, his name is Samuel Onuha, something like that. This guy online is one of those hustle influencers. Yes,
I
like
it.
I need to tweet it. Oh Lord,
Hustlepreneur.
See,
Yes.
every day he comes on
Love
social
that.
media and say, if you're a man and you have never driven a Lambo, what is in between your legs? You're not a man enough. He kept pushing, and you can imagine how many people are pressured into that, only to realize that this guy does drugs.
Yeah, drug
He
dealer.
got arrested in Dubai. Now you see that if these things don't happen, if these people don't get arrested, some people will think that they're actually making something out of
exactly.
this
I think it's
hustle.
something legit.
Some of these hustlepreneurs are selling you dreams that even them themselves don't have. There's also an aspect of hustling I think that you can weigh in on. People are hustling, working for the sake of working. So you can prove to other people that you're working.
Yeah,
There's this part of hustle that is for show off.
I don't know. Also syndrome.
So that you can post it on cook. so that you can post it online and your peers can see that you're hustling.
Social validation is a great thing, though. Social validation is a great thing, man.
But what about also on this level where would you say you're hustling? Would you say you're hustling? Would I say I'm hustling too? Do we use the word? Do you use the word too? I think most of us use it, but in different contexts. I would say I hustle too. I'm not a 9 to 5. I do my regular job too. I'm a creative person in my creative space. I also call it I'm hustling because that's just the big word right there. I mean, that's what we use here to show that we are working or we are working hard and we're trying to make a living for ourselves.
I think that what we're trying to achieve or correct is to get the actual context of what hustle is supposed to be.
That's what I'm trying to say. That also should be something like that. You are doing something legit. It just shows that you're working hard towards something. But now people are using it in a different way, just like what we said now.
Or
Negative
like
way.
A different
Is that
taking a different connotation.
Yeah, it's not taking
like
negative.
Like people are overworking themselves.
So if
just so they can prove.
in fact, if you're a Yahoo boy, this thing that's their what I the hustler, I the hustle, you the hustle, I the street, I the hustle. So they tell you say you the hustle, you gonna say it means negative.
You know, some of those hustlepreneurs are actually hustling you too.
And that's another thing is that I think the unfortunate thing about this hustle mentality is that hustle there's also what we call hustle trap. The hustle trap.
Yeah.
So the hustle trap goes like this, right? Imagine a hamster running a wheel, right? At first, when you put the hamster on the wheel, right, you are giving it work.
Yeah.
If after it runs that wheel a while, you feed it, you rest, you put it back on the wheel, you feed it, you rest, you put it back on, you feed it, you rest, you feed it. Over time, you start to enjoy it.
Yeah, so it becomes part
exercise.
of it becomes part of it.
It's no longer work now.
Yeah.
So, I think people then start to the hustle culture now has become part of also another culture, which is like a subsect of hip hop culture. So hustle culture comes with having swag, being into music, being into certain kinds of free-spirited lifestyle.
Because, you can live whatever.
Exactly. So people then fall in love with the struggle, almost, and they don't want to live. Because the way we see hustle now, the way you used to use the word you're hustling, a Gen Z will not see you as a hustler, will not see me as a hustler.
Yeah.
What they see hustling as is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, when I use the word hustle, I use it sporadically. I use it when I'm trying to achieve something, in between the period where I'm trying to achieve something, but I don't really know how. I'm just working at it. So I never use it as a lifestyle. I take it as, man, let me go and hustle this 100K.
Exactly.
You understand?
So
you get it back.
Basically,
it's based on the
for
context
survival.
you're using.
So
Yeah,
there's
for survival.
there's not even apart from survival. It has a duration. It has an expiry date for me.
Okay.
It is contextual.
It's not a lifestyle.
It's
Yeah,
not a
it's not a
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
I'm saying okay. Now I'm living an okay lifestyle.
Yeah.
But for me now, I'll say I don't get 100K. I need to run
Make
this
I go
particular
hustle.
This
thing.
particular thing, make I
So let me
quickly
hustle
am.
that 100K
so I can get that.
Yes.
so I can get that thing
Yeah.
to get me back to where I need to.
But that doesn't make you a hustler.
No,
But that doesn't make me
That's what I
hustle.
said.
Oh.
So that's the way I use hustle.
Oh, okay.
So I won't term it as a lifestyle, but some people,
Yeah.
you understand, that's why I now call it the hustle trap, where they then fall in love with the lifestyle of going out and meeting people, doing things. They then fall into drug habits, alcohol, all those things they then bond with other hustlers.
Yeah.
That's why you see sometimes you see groups of people that know nothing and go nowhere.
Yeah.
That's
But
why
they
it's
enjoy
a
each other's
culture
company.
now.
Yeah.
It then becomes a culture. So smoking, drinking, lifestyle, women. But then when you interrogate the depth of their consciousness, when you try to ascertain the level of their thinking and where their direction is going, you notice that they don't
There's
really have
really
one.
no direction.
They're not using hustle to get as a means to an end. They are stuck there.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
They are stuck there.
It's
It's
a
not a means
lifestyle.
to your health. And now you fed the hamster to the point where he's
It's
now
now
running on the road
running.
for exercise for fun.
Okay. So I get it. So it's
that
like
hustle trap. Yeah.
it's like they are in a loop where they just keep hustling, getting it, blowing it up, getting
Thank
it,
you.
blowing it, and
Thank
getting
So
it.
we
Exactly.
saying
So
also-
the high and the low.
Yeah.
You know that's
Yes.
how drugs are. The high, the low after it.
Yeah.
Makes you want to take
want
it
to take
again.
it again to go.
To go high. The fact that you have freedom, you can go on the street. There are some people that even if you give them a job, paying job,
Oh yeah.
even if they have a comfortable
Yeah.
lifestyle,
They don't
they will
want-
prefer to be on the street.
They don't. Yes.
There's
Yes.
something about it
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, there are
Very
boys in
addictive.
Lagos that said they can't work for anybody. Not because they have something they are doing for themselves. They just like to be on the streets hustling.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
telling you, I've forgotten the name that they called themselves. You know, it was a thing at some point in
But
Lagos.
what about someone who I'm sure there are a lot of people that will say this also word is being subjective to individual, like you said about yours, like I said about mine.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
other person will say theirs too. Apart from the general term, that is more like a lifestyle
Yeah,
and
yeah.
negative influence of the word also. So people who we know their story that grew from nothing, maybe through okay, let me use this guy, Ola of Lagos.
Yeah.
You tell you if you ask him, you say, I hustled my way to the top. Now he's there. He's
Yeah,
starting
but
from
you can
somewhere.
you
But
can
would
tell
he
what
say,
he does.
yes, you can tell. That would say people like that too would also say they
Also lifestyle
also they also
Mm.
they also before they got to the top.
Well, that's true.
Face
So,
life.
but will he call himself a hustler now?
I think they would still
They will still
kind
call
of
themselves a hustler because they're not yet there. I mean, he's doing well, but he feels like he can still do better. So you say,
But-
on my city, they also low.
Yeah, but I can't call
get to
him
the
a
top.
hustlepreneur.
No, he's not.
You know, because there's something he's doing. There's something that he has hustled his way into, and he's known for that thing. Now, he doesn't make other people feel bad for not living a certain lifestyle. You will see memes like "sleep is for the weak," you know, sleep is for the
Oh, I'm not
weak.
gonna lie, the pressure people that they use are pressure people. I swear. See, on my WhatsApp, and sometimes around 1 a.m., I'll just write while you were sleeping. That's all. The fact that you can see.
But it does not
People
really
wey
matter.
know.
I
And
mean.
you make people feel
wait,
guilty
now
for
that-
But not
resting.
resting. I mean, I dey rest too.
people
I
wey
dey
know.
work I dey do my work
People
whenever I
wey
like.
know.
Yeah.
And they see that and they say, okay. Because you have to be awake hustling to see that post. If you woke up around 9, you understand, and you saw that post, you was,
But you know
wow,
that.
But don't put me under pressure now.
know that
Me, I
there-
cannot be under pressure because
But there's
what
a pre-
I cannot.
there needs to
It
be
cannot work for
pressure.
me.
No, but the pressure has to come from within, and the
within.
pressure has to be targeted. Now, I don't have to stay awake at night. to
If
be
me and you say you
productive.
dey do, if I'm doing better than you, I'm
But
not
I
feel
get your
pressured.
point actually.
And
you're saying I should
yeah,
not
it makes
I
a lot
just
of
love it.
sense, yeah. Because there are some people who function better at that time of the night.
Yes,
That's
yes.
another thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
You get
But I got
so,
pressure you.
and then some people, some people will look at you and like, he's awake, getting it while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Now it's not about if you decide to be awake because someone is awake.
Yeah,
What do you want to be doing while you're
I beg me as I'm sleeping, I'm still hearing a lot too. While you are still awake, hustling, me I dey get a lot.
For now, find something for boys. Find something for boys.
I just wake up, check a lot. I say, you don't enter.
Brother is flexing his coat. Okay.
You know, I'm just saying that.
All right.
I'm not pressured.
Anyway,
You don't
so
be pressured about that.
you have something that is making your hustle pay. So at the end of the day, the whole idea is that people don't feel unnecessarily pressured.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The people you are seeing, you're looking at as they are hustling and they are getting it. Some of them are not getting it. Those who are getting it, some of them are getting it via illegal means.
yeah.
You know, you need to know that for a fact. If you find a path stay in it, put your efforts, work hard, work smart, because truly, success doesn't only come from hard work,
Yes.
right? There is connection, there's leverage, there is privilege, and there's luck. We cannot remove those parts,
Yeah.
because you can do everything you want to do. And then, I mean, there are people who, just for knowing someone, somebody putting it a word for you,
Yeah.
and it goes, for example, this podcast now, we can be putting out videos all the time, and then somebody who is already big decided to repost it.
I think our producer is telling us that Owambe.
Yeah. So we need to go and hustle.
Bust up.
We need to go and hustle something.
Yes,
So,
actually.
like, if I were to just like give my own 2 cents final
Yeah.
thoughts, it's just hustle is, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't let hustle trap you.
Mm.
You understand? And understand that when you say hustle, because some people use hustle as an excuse not to put in the work,
Yeah.
honest work,
I
honest
just
hard
the
work.
hustle.
You understand? I was having a conversation with a young lady. She'll probably, if she sees this, she might key to that conversation. She's a Gen Z. I was asking her about what she does. And every time I would ask her, I do it intentionally. Anytime I see her, like, we don't see her tempo. When I see her, I'll ask her, what do you do? And she couldn't put a name to it, to what she did.
Yeah.
You understand? But she was moving like she was doing something corporate. But she couldn't put a name to it. You understand? And there's something I told her. I said, she said, 9 to 5. She can't find herself working 9 to 5, blah, 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 blah. And I said, listen, yeah. Success demands a certain number of hours and efforts. You can be hustling, whether you are in 9 to 5, whatever you are in. There's the amount of time and effort that you need to put into whatever you are doing. The only difference between your 9 to 5 and what you do on the streets to success is that you are more accountable. Your time, you are more accountable to yourself. One, not to someone else. Two is that there's a good possibility that your hard work will always reflect. You will get more satisfaction for your hard work.
Because you're living life on your own terms, though.
And also, you are branding. You are part of the branding. If you do something now in a 9 to 5, you can come up with a fantastic idea, but it's a team.
Yeah, somebody can shut
You
it
get
down.
it. And even within a team, there are people that don't work that hard. You understand?
True. There are
Your
people
boss
that
can take
carry
your
the team.
idea, right, and present it to the higher
And take
ups
the credit.
say, this is, and take credit. It
Yeah.
happens. You understand? So that's part of also the leeways, the problems with 9 to 5 structure.
Yeah,
But understand that the dedication does not change.
true.
Hustle, if you want success, the dedication does not change. If it's 10 hours it takes to get to,
So even
to
if
be
you're
successful,
hustling,
you need to put in the
You need
10
to
hours
put
also
in the
outside.
work.
Just take it that you are also doing a 9 to 5, but the only difference is now you can get appreciation directly for your work.
you're answerable to yourself.
And you are answerable to yourself. So don't think that hustle is for lazy people.
Yeah.
Hustle is not for lazy people. 9 to 5 is not for lazy people. It's not for weak people. Only the strong succeed.
So it's not work for the sake of work, but work that is geared towards something. And you're
Yes,
putting
and hustle
effort
is not
towards
an
that.
excuse not to put in the work.
Okay, so I think that's a very good line to end it. Hustle is not an excuse not to put in the work. And please, we're hustling on this platform. Please help us to like and share
We're engagementpreneurs.
and leave and leave a comment. If you're yet to subscribe, please do so. We also welcome feedback and suggestions. Thank you very much. Fine boy Raj, fine boy Sam,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oga Peter here, and we're out.
Yeah.